Hi, this is Erin Zimmerman, owner of Elephant Social, and welcome to my show, ChatConnect, where I connect with badass ladies and have deep conversations with them, completely foregoing the surface conversations that are so prevalent in our society. Today, I'll be speaking with Merideth Bisiker, business strategist, certified money coach, and host of the Rise to Success podcast. Hello, Merideth. How are you?
I am so good. How are you, Erin?
I'm doing really well. Just getting adjusted
Awesome.
to moving, you know. You know how it is.
Keep
How long
moving.
has it been since you moved?
10 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I swore I would never, ever move again. And we are still in reno stage 10 years later. So obviously we've stuck to our commitment. We love where we live too. So we love the location in the town. We love the town where we live. And I think that once our kids, we have two kids who are 6 and 11. I think in a few more years, once our older one really hits those teenage years, we'll probably be ready to move.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a pain in the butt. So I feel for you.
I just keep saying it's so much fun because I'm trying to turn it around, but you know.
It's not.
No. And I mean, we've been in this place for almost a week and I'm still living out of boxes. So
Yeah.
well, one of these days I will unpack everything. We'll find
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can just, for the next month or two, just pull out what you need. And after 2 months, when you know, except for your summer clothes, when you know that you don't use the other stuff, get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like on that path. We already started going through things and like we already have a box of things to donate, which is ridiculous to me because we moved it over here. I'm like, why couldn't we have done this before? We did find stuff before, but finding more now. So
Yeah.
that is one thing I do enjoy about moving is the fact that I have to move my stuff on a semi-constant basis. And so then I find things to give away all the time. So I just have to remember that when I'm not moving anymore, because hopefully we'll be here for a while. But enough about moving. I want to know about you. Tell me about you. What comes to mind first when I ask you about you?
Well, I am a mama, as I mentioned, to two feisty girls, and oh gosh, I mean, I could go on so many tangents. I'm in a band.
What do you do in the band?
I sing and I play a little percussion, and sitting right beside me is a drum kit that I just got this summer that I love. It's our drummer's old drum kit and I bought it. So that's a huge passion for me, and I take singing lessons now, and it's been really cool to allow myself to explore that, because I've always been, like most people, the singer in the car, and I've always kind of thought, I think I'm kind of good, but like not like, I was going to say Celine Dion. I mean, technically she's an excellent singer, right?
Yes.
And then my husband and a couple of buddies started a band, and then they said, hey, we need you girls to join us. So there's 6 of us, including my uncle in there now. And I was just arranging a gig before we got on the call. So that's
so great. That is so great. What kind of gig do you play? Like, where do you play?
Well, our community hall.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the second one that we'll do. We were invited to a Christmas party, for the work Christmas party, which will be a great warm up to a bigger gig we want to do in January. So it's really just, we have no expectations for ourselves. We all want to improve. We all love what we do. And man, we have some fantastic musicians in the band, they're really great to learn from. But it ties into everything I've been doing the past year or so, where I also have a business. I'm an entrepreneur, and I am a money coach, and I mentor entrepreneurs as they grow their businesses. That part kind of happened by accident. I'm definitely a money coach first and foremost. And growing my business has forced me to step out on a lot of ledges. And I am an extrovert, and I have always considered myself pretty ballsy, but I realized how much fear I was living in once I started a business. Not really showing up, not saying the things I wanted to say. And I realized yesterday there's such a parallel between singing and the training I'm doing in the singing and what I do in my business. even down to like breathing. My singing helps me breathe better so I can calm down before I do something that's a little bit more stressful, or I've got something that's raising my anxiety, my anxiety a little bit. So yeah, it's been quite a year of just putting myself out there, saying stuff I want to say, and I still have so much further to go in that realm. But it's been exciting. I'm like 40 years old. It's time to do stuff like this.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So were you at a corporate job before this?
Yes. In fact, I still have a part-time job in government.
Cool.
So that's politics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's finance, and I love that work. So since I was 18, I've been in banking. That was a part-time job I took. I worked for a bank that was open late, so I was going to university to be a teacher. So studying English and French, and I was full on going to be a teacher. So this banking job paid me really good money. I could work in the evenings, and it just ended up evolving into this, okay, I'm now going to be studying to be a CGA, which is a CPA in the States. Now it's a CPA up here in Canada too. So confusing. So lots of studying around finance and accounting. And I love that stuff. I was never a numbers girl in high school, but I always like the stories that money tells us. And when I was working in an accounting office, I aspired to be in that desk that my boss was in, because I wanted to sit and talk to people and say, you can do this. You can grow your business if you just look at this. And I'd always get so frustrated, because when we'd write our recommendations in the year-end papers, our boss would say, just 3 recommendations. That's it. No more. People can only handle 3. It's like, oh my God, but there's so much more you can do. Yeah. So looking back, I know what he means, but also looking back, I can see where those first sparks of wanting to be a money coach came in, where I wanted to help people look at their money in a different way besides just the numbers. But they don't teach that at school when you're studying to be
right.
They
don't teach a lot of things at school. So.
No, they don't. They did teach it in banking. I was the person that the customers would sit in front of and cry because they've lost a house, or they bounced a check, or who knows what. And they just never really got into that touchy-feely stuff. So now I have a part-time job in government finance. I administer the payroll and have a few other roles. And most people would be like, ugh, but I like that part.
Yeah.
It's good fun, especially when there's a problem and I have to balance something and I can't find the outage, and then I find it. My geek is showing through right now, but I love that stuff.
No, I love it. The first thing that came to mind when you said, if there's a problem, I thought of Vanilla Ice. If there's a problem, I'll solve it. I'm like, that's you.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't know the first, I have a handle on my money, but I don't have a handle on my money. So I love what you do. I love the idea of it. And what made you consider being an online entrepreneur? Did you run into some of these groups like I have, or how did that start?
Yeah. So I got my certification in money coaching through the Money Coaching Institute. And I was building my website, probably spent a ridiculous amount of hours on that. And I can't even tell you I know exactly how that world opened up to me, but I don't know what got me there. So I probably saw an ad and I joined a certain group, and I was introduced to a lot of online entrepreneurs. One in particular was Adrienne Dorison. I connected with her through that group, which was awesome, because through her, you and I have both learned so much from her and connected to people who really feel good to you and me, who work in integrity and have different values, not different, but have certain values that connect with us. Anyway, so yeah, I joined that group, and I just remember watching it go from 100 people to thousands of women in just a couple of months. And I'm super thankful for that, because I had no idea that this online world was out there. And I live in a tiny little town on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. And I was doing some networking, and that gave me migraines. I'm totally an extrovert, but it's very cliquey because people have been here for so long. And also I live in the town with the oldest median age in Canada population.
Yeah.
So now I'm meeting lots of online entrepreneurs and people who can help with online marketing, that sort of thing here in the community, because I'm actually talking about what I do. So learning about other people. But at the time I felt super lonely. I was like, how am I ever going to make this work? I'm going to like coach older people. That's not what I want to do, not because they're older, but this just doesn't feel good. I want to coach people my age and younger. And I had no idea that I was even going to be coaching entrepreneurs. That was not on the map. And then I started and then I pulled back. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. What do I know? What do I know? So I tried to pull back and people were like, can you please coach me? Can you please coach me? And they were all people in business. I was like, okay, fine.
They forced you into it.
That's right. I will give in to what fate is trying to show me. And I absolutely love it now. And I think it's because entrepreneurs who are determined just have that spirit. Even when they're down, they're going to keep pushing through because it pulls us, right? We just go. Yeah. So that's how I ended up online. I'd like to get back to doing some classes in my community and in some of the surrounding cities and in Vancouver, which is just a ferry ride away. I'd love to start doing some bigger workshops and there's no conferences in Vancouver for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Maybe I should make one.
Yeah. Right here, right now. There's your declaration.
Yeah, there are conferences. I mean, that was totally an incorrect statement, but like conferences that you and I would like to go to.
Yeah.
Let's make one.
I'll be there.
Okay.
It's an excuse for me to visit Canada for the first time. I've been talking about it and I still haven't been. So
lots of people are talking about it right now.
Yes, they are. Appropriate timing. Yes, they are. We are recording this 2 days after the U.S. election. So, yes, is that website still crashed?
I don't know. I haven't checked. So we're talking about the Canadian immigration website. And what's so funny is I had heard it had crashed. And then yesterday morning, the day after the election, my husband's, he's a permanent resident. He was born in England and his card was sitting out the coffee table. I don't know why. Maybe he was starting to think, oh yeah, like has it expired, which it has. So I went onto the website to look at renewing it. I couldn't get in. So I'm going to have to wait till everything chills out so I can get back on there. But I'm curious to know how many people visited. And we have this teeny little airport in our town, and we're laying in bed yesterday and all these planes are landing one after another, and it's like 9:00, it's dark, it's really weird. And I looked at my husband, I said, all these planes are landing, what's going on? He goes, oh, they're probably Americans.
You're gonna need to build a wall for us.
Oh, and I don't mean to jest, because the people who are seriously considering moving here, they're hurting and they're scared.
Oh, yes.
I am certainly, we all felt it up here too, as neighbors to America.
It was crazy. Scary. I wasn't sure how everyone was going to react. And, being on Facebook for, my job, I was kind of watching people throughout the day. And honestly, my news feed was overwhelmingly saddened, but positive in what we can do as individuals and as a community. And so I was really excited about that. And yes, even my Canadian friends and friends in Europe, and it was just awesome to see people come together like that. And so I'm not scared. I don't think it should be something that is scary. I just think it's just a change. It's just a change, just like every single change of power. It's a change.
Yes. Yeah. We can be tentative about every change, and everybody, we're talking about it from one perspective, and there's people out there who are rejoicing and excited, and that all comes down to values. It all comes down to values. So a lot of us are going, especially women and minorities, are going, oh my gosh, he's totally grating against my values and my beliefs and my race or whatever they're saying. Mm-hmm. Who knows what'll happen? And my daughter, my 11-year-old, was even scared because of the things the kids are saying at school. Yes. And I said, please don't worry about it, because number one, we literally have no influence over this. There's nothing you and I can do right now except for support our friends. And I said, I can support my friends who need the support and the encouragement during this time. But I said, there's nothing we can do except sit back. And we have a prime minister that rocks. So whatever.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do.
He's fun to look at. I know everyone agrees with me. I just love it. As silly as it sounds, I just love it whenever, when I guess it's people in power, I need to come up with a better term, I think. But when I just look at them and I think, I feel like I could be your neighbor, or like we could have dinner parties easily together, or hang out at a football game,
I grew up with him kind of like, my mom worked with his aunt. His mom's family is from Vancouver. His dad was prime minister when I was born, and he was the longest running prime minister in Canada. So the Trudeau family is kind of like Canadian royalty, and his mom's family has had a lot of influence in the country as well. And we've just watched Justin and his brothers. Unfortunately, one of his brothers was killed in a skiing accident, I think in Alberta a few years ago. And, we watched him at his dad's funeral, and we all cried with him as he said his speech. And, but we all feel like, especially people like my age, we all feel like we grew up with him. He was in Vancouver. He was a teacher in Vancouver. He's just one of us.
Yeah.
And his wife is so cool. And he comes to Vancouver Island and vacations here and surfs and, that's just cool. And
yes.
He walks in the pride parades, and he's just...
I love that. Oh, look at you. You're just like,
it feels so good. Yeah. After the years of a more conservative government, I think I'm proud of my governments no matter what, because we've really managed not to get, this is turned into a political conversation, but we managed to get through the awful crash back in 2008 because of our policies, et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't horrible, but he is just a nice breath of fresh air. And I think for the world too, he could probably step up. And we're Canadian, we kind of do it in a quiet way, but he can be an awesome example.
But here's the thing. You don't have to be quiet in stepping up and getting out there. I know we talk about this a lot in the online entrepreneurial community, but you have that know, like, and trust factor. And with video, if you're like confident enough to get on video, and I've seen you on video and I know you are, you've got your whole setup behind you and everything.
I got this.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. Like I told my husband, once we move and we get everything settled in and we figure out what the heck we're getting rid of, I am setting up a little studio because we have an extra room here in addition to the office. And so it's going to be I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But you set up your backdrop behind you because you're hiding stuff, aren't you? Like that's what I would do.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Am I ever? So I mentioned renovations, right? Yeah. So I'm in our carport that is my husband enclosed a while back. And it's going to be a really awesome room once we get to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have this backdrop behind me for a reason because I should probably just, it's like behind the scenes kind of thing. Like this is.
Oh my gosh. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's all drywall, all that kind of stuff, but it works. So like, I don't mind sharing that because we all have to make it work. And you and I have talked about this a couple of times now where it doesn't have to be perfect. Right. So if I want to do a live in this room and I turn and I've got the drywall behind me, the point is I just have to get the message across, and we're used to that now. We're not needing everybody to be primed and proper and stuff. Right. But usually have a mattress behind me and sometimes a cat's climbing up. I've had a client go, there's a cat climbing up
like it's supposed to be there, I promise.
Yeah, it's totally normal. She's never had cats before, so she doesn't know that they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I've never had a cat before, but I know they do stuff like that.
They like to climb and hide.
Yes.
Especially from 6-year-olds.
Yeah. How many cats do you have? Do you just have one?
We have one. We got him like, I don't know, 7 months ago or so when our gerbils died. I promised my kids that when the gerbils died that we could get a cat. So it was like tears. Can we get a cat? And the gerbil died.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a cat since before. I grew up with lots of cats, and my parents had a dog, so pets aren't unusual for me. We had to put one of our cats down right before my oldest was born because he ended up with like cancer, and that was really sad. And then we never had a pet again, except for like fish. And don't get gerbils, like just don't get rodents. They're a pain in the butt, but it's just don't do that.
Gerbils, was that your kid's idea or was that your idea?
That was my big kid's idea, and she saved up. She asked for money for one birthday so that she could get gerbils. So she paid for the cage and all of that. And we had two, and they were Dave and Gingy.
Oh, I love it.
And Dave died like quite quickly because they can have seizures.
Oh no!
And he was the nice one. He was the one who didn't bite. Of course, he died.
No.
Yeah. And then we had Gingy. You couldn't touch Gingy. He would just, and they claw, like their little beaver teeth just get stuck right in you. So they just hang until they let go. They're just.
No gerbils.
So
don't get gerbils.
I don't know about hamsters either. But anyway, we have this wonderful cat now. He is amazing, especially with our little one, because our little one is very active and touchy, and she doesn't hurt him, but she will like pick him up and carry him around, and he just kind of like hangs there. Yeah. But he was young when we got him. He was 7 months, but it's kind of nice. It's nice to have a cat around again.
Oh, I love that. Good.
Let's talk about my cat for 5 minutes. That's great.
That's fine. You know, if I had pets, I would talk about. We have a family dog that is, she's still living with my parents. She's 14 years old. Yeah. She is adorable, and she acts like a puppy still. So I told my husband, as bad as this sounds, I don't want to get another pet until after she passes. But she seems to have a few more good years left in her. So good. I'm also excited about that because I would like not to take care of a pet since I'm home all the time and he is not yet.
Yes.
I would love for him to be home all the time, but we'll see where the future takes us on that one.
Yeah. Dogs are a huge, I would love a dog. My favorite are mini schnauzers, and because my parents had one, and he was so sweet, but they're too much work. And then, you know, like we're going away for the weekend, we just pour cat food for the cat and leave the toilet open, and he's fine. We're a dog. Can we bring him? And can he stay at my mom? What are we going to do? Who can look after him? They're a lot more work.
Yeah. Well, and if we could get a cat, like the place that we're in right now, the owner said we could get a cat. My husband is allergic, not deathly allergic, just to the point where he's uncomfortably, like his face uncomfortably swells up. So I was like, let's not live with that. Let's not.
It's okay, honey. Your face is just swollen. We can totally get a cat.
Right. This is normal.
Oh God, yeah.
I love it. So you have taken your teaching, just to go back to what you were saying earlier, you've taken you're wanting to be a teacher and kind of molded it into your own thing. Did you do that purposefully, or did it just kind of happen?
It kind of happened. So I never went into teaching. Part of, I think, for anybody who's going to be a teacher these days is part of the requirements is you have to volunteer in a classroom. So the way it worked when I went to university like 300 years ago, they were transitioning the program, but I was just in this year where I could slip in and not have to have a degree to teach in elementary. I thought, okay, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'd have to wrap up my degree before I got it. And I just wanted to get it done because I actually had prolonged my university education a lot, because in those years I got married, I moved out, like all of that stuff. So I just went to school part-time for a long time. And long story short, I volunteered in classrooms. I volunteered in a grade 4-5 class and grade 9 class and grade 12 class. And I thought, oh my God, these teachers do not get paid enough to do what they do. And, you know, the interactions with the parents who don't care and like all of that. I thought, I don't want to do this. And I have a job in banking that can actually get me somewhere. So I was planning to climb the corporate ladder with what is known as TD Canada Trust up here. And then we left the big city and move to where I was. So that just wasn't an option anymore. So I didn't go into teaching, but I always loved training. I always wanted to be the trainer, and I always could be. When we had new tellers come in, I was the supervisor who would come in and train the new tellers. And if I could ever be in that role, I would take it. And so, now I'm like teaching classes and teaching people and inspiring people. And it's so fulfilling. I love what I do. I love what I do because it's creative. I get to teach. I get to inspire. My main goal this year was to inspire people, and I get messages all the time. You're inspiring me. You're inspiring me. I'm like,
I love that.
cool.
I love that. And it's not mandatory for these people to take these classes from you and to learn from you. So I feel like they're much more invested. At least that's how I feel now that I'm out of school.
Yeah. Like if it was English 101, that would be a totally different story.
Because people do, unfortunately, it's a requirement, and people kind of send their kids to school to be babysat. And it's like,
Yeah. It's school's an interesting thing, especially as they evolve. I don't know what's happening down in the States, but they're really evolving here in British Columbia, the curriculum. And this year we're not getting report cards anymore, which I really like, actually. And because my oldest is super creative and not super academic, at least yet. And I want to foster that creativity, whatever it is. So she's going to be a baker and a famous actor.
Perfect.
Yeah. So she has a YouTube
do whatever
channel.
The heck you want. I love that.
Exactly. She can do whatever the heck she wants. And sure, she needs to have certain skills. And I'd like her to be able to write and I'd like her just for communication's sake, and knowing like number stuff is good. But does she really need to know trigonometry? Probably not. Probably not going to serve her at all. I'm loving the way that the schools are evolving up here. There's going to be some growing pains, but I'm not competitive when it comes to being a mama, and I'm not. I can't stress myself over my kids, just like maybe being a little bit behind other kids.
Well, and that's only in like one area, you gotta, the school system totally doesn't help people grow in their strengths. It just like emphasizes weaknesses and makes people feel inadequate. And that's difficult for kids. I mean, it's difficult for adults. It's difficult for me. And so to think, like, as I'm watching my friends' kids go through school right now, to think that that's what they have to deal with, or that, some of them, yes, they're on different planes when it comes to their understanding of the material and stuff. And some of them are getting bored, or others are trying so hard to keep up. I don't understand. Looking back, I'm trying to think. I don't feel like I ever thought about that much when I was younger. I just thought about myself. But I feel like a lot of people, even a lot of really young kids, are dealing with a competitive nature of school, which I didn't see until the end of middle school, which is still a really bad time to deal with. But
they got rid of middle schools in our district just because of a funding thing. And we're for our little one, she has special needs. We're literally like taking her down the path of being tested for autism. If she has it, she's super high functioning. But so we are seriously getting some awesome. I think I've got some water technicians working on some water out there. So if you hear some extra noise, it's actually my coworkers from the town.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Take them out coffee or something. But I was going to say, what was I talking about? Oh we've had incredible support, and one of the psychologists that we've worked with the school district said getting rid of middle schools was probably the best thing they could have done, because you have these for us it's grade 6, 7, 8, or what do you say, 6th grader, 7th grader, and 8th graders.
Yep.
And they're not quite mature enough. And so when you put the 6s and 7s in an elementary school, being the oldest, and they take on those leadership roles. And you know what? I went to school where it was grade 8 to 12, and it was really good for us because we could see these big kids leading us. And crappy things maybe happen sometimes, but I don't want to brush that off. It was a different time too. I think bullying was different back then and stuff. But yeah, I really like the way that they're changing things up here in BC because it is more student centered. Mm-hmm. So we lose some of this competition, and that competition comes from us, from the parents.
Mm-hmm. So much comes from the parents. Yeah, like the language that kids learn, and there are so many things that kids are learning from adults, and it's like we need to change first for kids to be able to change. And so it's a frustrating thought, but it's also, to me, it's a hopeful thought, because I'm like, hopefully some people are ready to step up and do this in our communities. But I love that they're doing something up in your area to change a little bit, test the waters a little bit, see what works.
Yeah, it's cool. We have a ton of homeschoolers up here, especially where I live, because we have a lot of dads who go away to Alberta to work in the oil field. My husband was one of those for a couple of years. And so a lot of moms will homeschool. So when dad is home, then kids can spend time with dad. And it's really become quite normalized these days for kids to be homeschooled. I don't want to do it. My oldest begs for it. I'm like, you do not want, we can't even sit down and do homework together without fighting. So that would not be a good solution. So I really feel like this is fitting that bill a little bit more, where there's some flexibility, and the kids get to, like Safi was invited to be the MC at a Remembrance Day ceremony a couple of days ago. And that's because the teachers are recognizing that she's got this quality, and she's able to like step out and talk in front of people and speak and communicate. Amazing. Yeah. So I'm very, very pleased. It bugs me when people criticize the school system, because there's some awesome people in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and everyone's perspective is so different when it comes to stuff like that. So, and a lot of people are opposed to change in any area. And it's like, you got to embrace it. Every day is completely different.
So. You have to. And if it's like you were talking about what we saw on Facebook yesterday, there were so many good positive posts out there. People saying, what, this is our time to stand up and really speak for believe in. And that's what it comes to. If there's a change that we don't like, then it's time to sit back and figure out why we don't like it, and can we do something about it. And I
oh no.
Responsibility for their ability to change and to do some of those scary things or uncomfortable things, then they're not going to have any success.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of hardcore. And a year ago, I would never have said that, but it's true now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. Don't
change.
Don't pay me money if you're not going to do it, because
please don't.
It's a waste of your money. Mm-hmm. Come to me when you're ready.
I love that. I love that. Well, and what do your girls know about what you do? Like, what do they think about what you do? Including being in a band. Like, that is so cool.
Well, they come to jam night because the two buddies who my husband started the band with, all of our girls have grown up together. Mm-hmm. At least are like my oldest girl, their daughters are the same age. And now my little one will come as well. And so they come to jam night, they hear everything, and we're talking to the mics. Sometimes we have to remember that they can hear everything we say, because it's kind of like raunchy. Yep. It's classic rock. You have to get into that, right? So they love that. My little one actually has awesome rhythm. So I love it when she can play the drums. She's like Lars Ulrich from Metallica. It's pretty awesome. And the thing with kids is that they don't really realize that, like, they don't hold themselves back. They just go for it, because they don't better. What do they think about what I do? Well, my little one just knows I go into meetings. She has no idea what I do. She's so different from my older girl because of what's going on with her. She's feisty, she's smart, she has anxiety and sensory processing disorder, and she's a whole different can of worms from my older girl, who's very creative and nurturing and introspective. So my older one, Becoming a money coach has really helped me understand, you were talking about this, really helped me understand how I talk about money. So before I went through my own traumatic experience with money, where we had a business that failed and which eventually ended up with my husband having to go to Alberta to work, that was so traumatic. And kids pick up on all of that because like we're sitting there in fear and barely talking to each other and all of that. So they pick up on all of that. Plus we had, when we started our business, we had our second daughter who had special needs and we didn't know that. So on top of everything else, I'm thinking I'm just the worst mom in the whole wide world. I can't figure this out, right? So looking back, I can have a lot more empathy toward myself. But the best thing that's come out of this work is the way I talk about money. So even when I say something like, I was super grumpy the day before yesterday, probably because of just picking up on the energy from the world, you know, and my daughter was asking me for money to buy books. And I just wanted her to, I said to her, I don't want to buy you a book because you don't read these books that I buy you. And I went on. And then I had to pull back and go, okay, hold on. What's this conversation going to do for her? Because what I ask my clients to do is to write their money story. Every single memory they have about money, whether it's good, ambivalent, or not so good. So that's opened up my awareness to how I talk about money with her. And I give her money for allowance without any other condition because I just want her to know how to save and spend. And the other day she was pulling out 50 cents for a poppy because it's Remembrance Day up here for, that's for like just recognize veterans, right? And she's pulling out money to pay for the poppy. I'm like, I'll pay for your poppy. She's like, really? So she just, usually her go-to is do I have enough money to buy this? I want this. Do I have enough money for it? So now I have to watch that too, because I don't want her to get into this other, it's almost like ignorance is bliss now as a money coach. Like, oh my God, am I wrecking my kids with this cost of money? I'm not. So anyway, I love what I do. And I love showing these girls that mom gets up early because this is what she does. And I have a job, but I also get up early because I love what I do. And I get to inspire people and I get to be creative and create a podcast. And they, my oldest thinks I'm famous because I have a website.
Yeah.
So that they'll see all this and then they'll know it's possible for them as they grow up.
Oh, I love it. That's wonderful. Cool. It is so cool. Yeah. It's so cool. Like growing up, I saw that my mom, she sold Mary Kay and also had a job or was home with us. And I admired that. And I was like, how can I do something where I can, work for myself kind of thing. And so I think that's definitely where my entrepreneurial spirit started budding. But, you never know when your kids are watching or listening and what they're going to hold on to. And some of that may be scary, but it shouldn't be.
No, my mom always worked. I'm so lucky because I grew up in families with men who were wonderful. So I have this great relationship with men. I've never felt downtrodden as a woman because the men never made me feel that way. And because I watched my mom and the other women in my family and also my husband's family, because we've been together since I was 15, everybody worked, everybody had good jobs. And I remember my mom, she worked for the library. So she worked part-time in the evenings until, she's a huge traveler. I remember her. So I was like 8 or 9. So we're talking like mid 80s. Writing out her resume. So first she went to school to learn some travel agency stuff, and then writing her resume and applying for jobs with travel agencies, and then eventually ended up working for Air Canada for like over 20 years. I remember all that. She worked crappy shifts, and still she did it for the love of traveling and the benefits, and she loved her job. And that was just normal. I mean, I never ever sit back and go, oh, I wish my mom was home. Yeah. She was home more, just because we had, when they were home, they were there for us, and I had just dad as well. So I have moments of, oh my gosh, what am I doing with these kids? I have like meetings every night this week. And then I think, no, this is this is a good thing. And I'm working towards something where possibly one day I'm not going to be having to do evenings.
Right. And that's what they'll remember is,
yes,
how hard you were working for them and when you were there. They're not going to be like, oh, she's never home. When I was younger, and my dad and mom, I guess, both felt that we would think differently. But when I was younger, both of my parents worked in professional sports, and my dad had to be at the arena he was at or at the stadium he was at for every event that was going on. And so when we were younger, he worked at an arena that had an event. They had an NBA team to facilitate, and then they had concerts and rodeos and all this other stuff. And so he was gone a lot of the time. But I don't remember it that way. And that was one of the things that I guess whenever my dad got a stadium job and moved us from California to Kansas City, where all of his family is, he was really excited because he didn't want us to feel like he wasn't around for us. Because at a stadium, they don't have as many events. It's like they have an NFL team and then a couple of concerts, and that's about it. And so that was one of his concerns, and I guess one of my mom's concerns, but I don't remember that part of him not being home. I just remember the cool stuff we got to do when we were with him.
Exactly.
So
exactly. We're so lucky.
I love it. I love it. I love looking back and being able to like see it from an adult perspective too. Like I understand why they were worried, but it was silly. It was a silly worry. So
So I'm sitting here realizing I've got a meeting a little earlier than I actually planned, or that I completely forgot about. So at 8:30.
Okay. Well, then guess what? It's time for some rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and preface this because, legality and stuff, but these are questions that are used on Inside the Actors Studio. They were actually first used on a French television show and then adapted for Inside the Actors Studio. And now I am borrowing them because I love Inside the Actors Studio. That's actually the main inspiration for ChatConnect, and I'm borrowing them, and they're a lot of fun. So we're just going to go. You can answer as rapid fire as you want, or you can think about it for a second. Totally up to you. Are you ready?
I'm so excited.
Okay. All right.
I hope I pass. I'm an overachiever, so.
Let's see. No stress here. Okay. Number 1, what is your favorite word?
Just like my favorite word in general? Probably perfect. I say perfect all the time. I don't know why. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
It's a good word to love. Number 2, what is your least favorite word?
Ultimately.
All right. Number 3, what turns you on?
Oh God, musicians. Yeah. And they can be all like Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh. What turns you off?
Oh, whining. Yeah.
See, whenever I talk to people and I ask them these questions, I think, oh yeah, that one's oh wait, no, that one, each time someone responds. I love it. I love collecting these. Number 5, what sound or noise do you love?
Sound is music, for sure. Yeah, almost any kind.
Okay. Number 6, what sound or noise do you hate?
Whining.
Good. It's a very obvious set thing in your mind. I love it. Yeah. What is your favorite curse word?
Fucker.
Oh, I like the at the end. Very nice. Drive it home. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Writer. I mean, I do some of that, but like professional writer. Copywriter, I think.
Yeah.
Marketing, yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Like build stuff, like construction. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Too much. All right. And number 10, here's the final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Go see your dad.
So sweet. I love that. So sweet.
Those are fun.
See, isn't it fun?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to come up with questions that fun. We'll see as ChatConnect continues on. I loved having you. And
Thank you.
I hope that you will join us again sometime. I hope this wasn't like so painful for you.
Oh God, no. I just wish we had more time. I'm just like, this is like real life where I'm going, oh my God, we have a department meeting at 8:30 and I completely forgot about it.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
I don't want to go.
Well, we can continue this another time.
That's right.
Part 2 through 10, whatever you'd like. But I fully appreciate you and the conversation that we had today. I love whatever direction our conversation goes. It's so much fun. And I love learning more about you.
Aw, me too.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. It was fun. So we are going to do this again. You'll hear from me on a weekly basis.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, Erin.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much to Merideth Bisiker for being on today's show and to you for tuning in.